my humble obeisances to you all. We'll begin with our mini Vandanam as we do. And we are broadcasting live on Facebook, and I do have Facebook today, so we can find who is live with us on Facebook. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamuscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakan Vitanscha Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanandana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goratvijay Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. All right, so I have just set up the Facebook, and we're happy to be with those who are with us on Facebook and those who will be joining us on Facebook, here on Zoom, and in the recorded version too. So my morning obeisances from here, my afternoon obeisances to some places, my evening obeisances to other places. And that our obeisances to the devotees in appreciation of the devotees always. And somehow this point has been coming up, well, always, but it's been very clear this week in our readings and in circumstances also, varying circumstances, how really important the association of devotees is. So here we are, and Anthony looks like he's in green fields somewhere, the thumbnail, but he's somewhere there in probably Bangkok, which is not exactly green fields, but does have one or two nice parks and a big river flowing through the center of it. And Aparajita there in Bangkok, and Dana in one part of USA, Kamala another part of USA, and in Indulekha in another part of USA. And who else is in USA? Oh yes, Bimal Krishna Prabhu and Istadevika, busy looking after the household somewhere. My mother used to say, a woman's work is never done, always looking after the house. And South Africa, Ukraine, well done Nirupama, and I hear Nirupama, she is also the Pujari, I heard now. So well done, the Pujari and the cook, and no doubt everything there in the Ukraine Kiev temple. So well done, Nirupama Devi Dasi. And Rupanuga Prabhu from Australia, and Paramanand Prabhu just joined us from Japan, probably. And I hope you might have received some message through Madhurananda Prabhu during our... You did, yes, okay. We were thinking of you. We were thinking of you and wondering if you were doing similar to us at the same time in another way. Yes, Anthony. So Anthony's in the concrete jungle right now, not in the green outdoors, as it were. All right, dear devotees, and to Mathura Basini Devi Dasi and to Madhava Prabhu, who we can see on Facebook, because they sent messages of obeisances, Hare Krishnas, and Hare Bol, to all of the assembled devotees, sending obeisances to you all. So the value of association, this has been a theme all the way through this week, both in reading sense and in the practical sense, seeing devotees who maybe, well, yes, in some difficulty, but difficulty not of the body, but difficulty of the mind. And we will get difficulties of the mind if we don't actually follow what our guardians want us to follow. And when we do find we are in, like, some mental difficulty. Mental difficulty sounds a bit rough, but when our thinking and our mood, everything is a little down, and we catch ourselves thinking wrong, we should try to see what we are doing wrong, and we should try as far as possible to do the best step that is being consistently recommended by our gurus, by Guru Dev and Guru Maharaj, who we did know, by the way, to some degree, living with them and serving with them. And their first step, very often, the first advice very often will be association. Get good association. And so we always need to keep good association, and we need to share association. And sharing association isn't about ourselves, it's sharing Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. It's sharing where we can be associated, be connected through service. And yesterday Seva Rupa sent a little message after our Brazil Zoom. It was Brazil, yes, a Brazil Zoom yesterday. She sent a message on WhatsApp, which I don't have in front of me, but it was a message from Srila Guru Maharaj. So let me just quickly come to it. Oh, search for Sri Krishna. So I think, do you have that straight at hand, Seva Rupa? Because you sent me a link rather than the words in the WhatsApp. But wherever we are, we can get association through service. And I was listening to Srila Guru Maharaj, as we do. We listen to Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. It's my confession. We listen to these three. We're listening to Srila Guru Maharaj. And Srila Guru Maharaj was stressing about the connection, what is service, what is association, and that it is not reliant on physical association. It is reliant on the service to the Guru, service to the Vaishnavas. It's not only the Guru, it's the Vaishnavas. And the Guru, of course, is a particular link for us all. But the Vaishnavas are our association. But associating with the Vaishnavas, what does this mean? I was hearing Srila Guru Maharaj very strongly with affection expressing about it is not to do with physical association, although that has some value, but he was giving the main value to doing what they are guiding us to do. And we have one huge example, which is Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada associated in the physical sense. He had the direct association, direct company, in the direct presence of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Gurudev said a handful of times, or maybe a little more than a handful of times, but not two handfuls of times, he met and had association with Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in that way, less than 10 times. And Gurudev said, and even that, not even that, but then some of it was as sitting in an audience watching as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was giving a talk. So it was very limited association in the sense of physical association. But we see the greatness of the association in the sense of the service association. He understood what his Gurudev, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, wanted from him. And through that connection, then by doing that, through that connection of doing what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wanted from him, we see the huge results. But it's not always a visible result is what is required. But still, this is a big example for us to see that service really is, or association really is, the connection of service. So let us hear Srila Guru Maharaj's words, and Seva Rupa, she'll let us know where the quote is from. Search for Sri Krishna, perhaps. Anyway, she'll clarify for us. and she'll read Srila Guru Maharaj's words, just a very short section just now. Kindly.
Dandavats Maharaj, Dandavats, dear devotees. It is from the Krishna Search, and the chapter is chapter 12 from Centenary Anthology. And it's entitled Surrender, Service, Dedication, all done through Shraddha. But I posted the link to that page in the chat.
And are you going to read the excerpt that you sent?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. Great. So I'll read, and then you can just tell me if it's enough. But it's by Srila Bhakti Rakab Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj. So starting, in Krishna consciousness, the quality of wholesale dedication is necessary. It is indispensable. Partial dedication will not do. In connection with Krishna, the demand is wholesale, and nothing less will do. He is an autocrat. The demand from the autocrat is categorically different. Krishna is not satisfied with any partial service. He wants to swallow the whole thing, nothing less. He has the demand of an autocrat, but he is the absolute good. He is the beautiful. He is the harmony, and he is the love. But his demand is such. Self-giving is the symptom of Shraddha, or faith. Without self-giving, intellectualism will have no value. Reading scriptures will have no value, and also the physical association of the sadhu will have no value if there is no Shraddha. Many living entities, including bugs and mosquitoes, have physical association with the sadhus, but association through dedication is necessary. Shraddha is all important. To have Shraddha means to have the mood that if we dedicate everything to Krishna, we will get everything. We will achieve whatever is necessary, wholesale fulfillment. The path of that is dedication, Shraddha, and Seva, service. And therefore, our Guru Maharaj laid much emphasis on service. We were not allowed so much to read even Srimad Bhagavatam or the books by the 6 Goswamis, but our time was to be utilized in service. The serving nature will connect you with the real thing. Neither scriptural knowledge nor the close association with a saint has any meaning if it is not done with dedication, self-surrender, self-giving. Physical association alone has no meaning. It must all be done through Shraddha and service. So much so that if a sadhu or guru asks, read this book, then it will be service. But if I read a book to enhance my knowledge, it may be gyan, but not service. We can only have real progress through sevan mukhe hi jivadu. Otherwise, everything may be imitation. If we do not approach with the spirit of service, everything may be imitation, and we won't come in contact with reality. This is the most important point, and it is the speciality of the Gauriya Math, our Acharyas, our Gurudevs, and also of Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami. So, should I carry on reading? Then it goes on about surrender.
I had in my mind, have you got as far as will not produce without our, also to read all the scriptures in the world and put them within our belly, if you can read up to there?
Okay. So
yes, one more paragraph. I see. I was listening rather than reading, yes. I'm a
Oh,
happy
yes.
listener. So the next paragraph too, kindly.
All right. Okay. So surrender, service, and dedication. This is the key to deal with the infinite, Vaikuntha. Without knowledge and without much energy, one can attain fulfillment. It is not necessary to have the energy to be able to move a mountain. Also, to read all the scriptures in the world and put them within our belly will not produce any good. So up until there, Jai Gurudev.
Okay, yes, because I think, okay, I'll go back there. I think
The,
now Guru Maharaj is going to give some example. Yes. So,
yes, yes.
so this is the reading. And really you say, where should I stop? I'm happy to listen to the whole book. As you know, spoken books are very helpful for us because we can listen to books with some attention also while doing things which really don't take much attention. And as you know, as everybody knows, while washing our cloth and stuff like that, it is very, we can do that automatically, but we can give attention to with our mind to the message of our masters. Hare Krishna. And by the way, oh yes, I do have here. Now for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years, I'm not sure, maybe longer. I've been using some headphones. Things were just talking about it and on the side because somebody noticed this recently. They didn't know about them. They're not expensive. They're regular headphones which don't go in the ear because going in the ear does feel unnatural, and they go on the bone. I don't have any shares in the company, but for me, because sometimes we are outside, we want to hear the world and hear the headphones, and they don't go in the ear. And I don't know what they're called, but they're made for sportsmen. They don't fall off, so that people can hear outside. And if they rain, doesn't matter either. They don't get wet. Anyway, I'm just sharing a tip because I also don't like to always have in my ear, but we do listen. So just as we're mentioning about listening, and it came up recently, so I'm just sharing a tip for listening. But yes, we're listeners. And you see this point that Srila Guru Maharaj is making so clearly. And maybe we've all read this before. And I'd like to think we all have read it before, again and again. But to read things again and to be in association of what we're reading. In other words, we're going to hear it and we're thinking, yes, how do I put this into practice? Today I shall put this into practice. Today I shall put it into practice. But today we must put it into practice and not wait. I think later I will be serious, but now we can be devotees. We can have that connection with Gurudev, with Guru Maharaj, with Srila Prabhupada, with our whole parampara, with Mahaprabhu and Krishna, by doing what they want us to do. Hare Krishna, with faith and with service. And service means with faith. And in this short reading, we've got actually, the key. Didn't Guru Maharaj say this is the key just now? Yes, surrender, service, and dedication. This is the key to deal with the infinite. We're going to deal with the infinite. Hare Krishna. All right. Can I pass the microphone to a willing sharer or a willing questioner? And don't have to be shy. If we're seated together, you can all say, yes, me. And then if we're seated together, we'll say, okay, so you first, you first, you first. So you can all be first. Bimal Krishna Prabhu, that includes you. Something to share from your week?
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat everybody. Just what you're talking about association, and just, it doesn't always mean being necessarily like directly with someone. Like with Gurudev, the thought that was coming to my head was when I came to see Srila Gurudev in Calcutta. He was in Calcutta at the time, you know, and obviously he was showing like his health wasn't always the greatest, so we didn't get to see him a whole lot. But he was sending everybody to Navadvip to get ready for Sri Gaur Purnima, and that's just the thoughts I had, was just being away from him, but also going and being there in the Dham and like trying to do some service. You know, you still feel connected, and probably in a much deeper way, because you're constantly thinking about like how, like, what am I doing here? Like, what are my, like, what's my activities? What kind of seva am I doing? You know, how much am I giving of myself, and always trying to please Gurudev. And I felt like even in separation, like you're still feeling some connection there, and maybe even in a deeper way, because you're trying to satisfy him, and he's not there, you know, watching every movement. And I don't know. That's just kind of what I was thinking about. But even through doing those things, though, I noticed like a lot more opportunity came too. Like it seems like the more seva you did or tried to do, whatever, not like I did anything, but just trying to do some small things, I felt like other things kind of start coming to you. You know, you get allowed in a little closer and a little closer. Like the next trip that I came, you know, I sat outside of Gurudev's veranda a lot, and so I got in much closer proximity. But I feel like somehow that all came through the previous times of like being away, but also trying to satisfy Srila Gurudev, and just trying to serve in the Dham and being there with the devotees, you know. And it's always the devotees too. I mean, I always say this, but none of us I wouldn't have come to Srila Gurudev like and got, you know, even in the vicinity of him with if it wasn't for the devotees. I mean, that's kind of how it works. I think through the mercy of the devotees, you know, we get brought in and we get introduced, and then, you know, we can try to perform some kind of seva. But anyway, these are just some things I've been thinking about. And also, you know, trying to read books and trying to attain knowledge and this and that. Like I'll read something, and then 10 minutes later I don't remember what I read, you know. And some things will stick with me more, especially if it's, you know, kind of what I'm going through at the moment. If I'll read something, and that's kind of how I like to read too, is just being open to, you know, what is it I'm trying, like what do I need, basically, like where do I need to correct myself, and like how is this going to help me in some way, as far as, you know, becoming more surrendered or whatever it is, so that I can do some kind of service, because I'm a pretty selfish person, you know. So anyway, I read these things, and but ultimately I think it's a really simple program, you know. Gurudev, they've taken all these things from all the scriptures and everything, and they've made it really simple for us. Like we don't have to make it so difficult all the time, because it's simplified for us basically, and it's all there. Everything that we have to do. I mean, I was reading in Sri Upadesh Amrita, and the Tat Karma Pravartana, the section of there Bhaktivinoda Thakur is talking about, and there's all these, you know, favorable activities that you can perform in devotional service. And but he said, you know, there's five main ones that he kind of gets down to, but then he said the most important are Harinam Sankirtan and service to the Vaishnavas, you know, which it makes it really easy for us. We don't have to overthink, and, you know, I mean, it's nice to know some things for preaching and stuff, but ultimately, you know, chanting the names in congregation, and hearing about Krishna, and also just service to the Vaishnavas like the best we can. But anyway, these are just some thoughts, and obviously I don't know anything about any of it. I'm just trying to understand it. So my dandavats to all.
And one of our sweet senior devotees, actually, but one of our sweet devotees, now senior, you can say, when he first heard that there were 64, heard from Gurudev that there are 64 processes of devotional service. He said, 64? Are there so many? How can there be so many processes of devotional service? So yes, Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, they've made everything very straightforward for us. And they have given us the essence, the actual essence of all of those thousands and tens of thousands of verses in so many scriptures. And whose form is this? Sripad Dandi Maharaj has joined us. Dandi Maharaj. How is your devotional heart? We know you are a young man, your body must be healthy and strong, but we haven't met you for a while. Maharaj, our obeisances to you. Happy to see you with us. We've been talking about the straightforward gift of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, that they've given us a service connection, and that in that way the real association in the line of Mahaprabhu. So in a summary, this is what we've been talking about the last half hour. Sripad Dandi Maharaj, share with us something from your world. Are you in Mayapur? Means the address is Mayapur.
Dandavat. Srila Bhakti RamSundar Maharaj, Ki Jai, Shripat Pravanda Prabhu, and all the Vaishnavas. Dandavat. My humble obeisances to all the devotees. Yes, by the mercy of Mahaprabhu and Gurudev, still I have the opportunity to just live in my Dham, at least externally, trying to live spiritually. There is some endeavors on the devotional part. Trying to understand the real nature of this holy land, Mayapur Dham. So, yeah, I guess we can live only in the instructions of our spiritual masters. It's the only possible way to actually live in holy place. It means hearing our Harikatha of our spiritual master about Navadvip Dham, Mayapur Dham. But otherwise, no way to really live in Mayapur and Navadvip. Then this Videsha Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto is very difficult to attain our spiritual result just by studying some books, even spiritual books. But it's very easy through Atma Bhakto to devotion. It's very important, especially in the holy place. It's very important fidelity to our spiritual masters, to their instructions. Like I read one lecture this morning, and Gurudev said, Navadvip, satsanga is very dangerous. And he told a story that one man has some opinion about the disappearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he tried to convince Gurudev in this some bogus story about disappearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Gurudev said he was very disturbed by this association. And so this was of course devotee of Mahaprabhu. But still, Gurudev considered this association as a satsanga, because this devotee actually was not a real follower of Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur. He tried to debate his opinion about disappearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because we all know how Mahaprabhu entered in this Tathagata deity. It was opinion, and Saraswati Thakur just accepted it. And all of us accepted because of authority of Saraswati Thakur. This, but such Pandit, he was devotee of Mahaprabhu, but he didn't agree. So, yeah, and especially at Holy Dham, it's very difficult actually, because so many Pandits, so many also devotees from different parivars, and everyone has his opinion about such and such details. So it's actually to live in Navadvip Dham. We are living here only by the mercy of our spiritual masters. Yasya prasadam nagati kotopi. And if I have no fidelity to my spiritual master, and I started to associate with such and such devotee, and maybe such and such Pandit, scientist, then actually I can easily lose my faith. So, and actually, it's happened with many devotees here. Unfortunately, they lost their faith in our spiritual masters because of bad association with so-called devotees around. So, yes. So, and the nature of spiritual dharma is transcendental, completely transcendental. But to understand the transcendental nature is only way for this sadhu sangha, no other way. And we always was under the shelter of devotees, especially Srila Sridhar Maharaj was gave us so much mercy, and we visit holy places in Mayapur Dham and Navadvip Dham, with and we were very happy because we have shelter, we have very reliable fundament of our spiritual life, and without sadhusanga, without association, it's very difficult, and even to live in Navadvip Dham. We can even think that we live in Navadvip Dham, but we can live in hell. Actually, if we didn't have such strong attitude to follow our spiritual masters. So I pray for all Vaishnavas to give my unfortunate soul their blessing. I was always follow our spiritual line and never decline. Right.
Yeah. May we each give each other strength to always do that and not let our mind wander, obviously, to physically bad association in the sense of people doing wrong, so we get caught up in wrong activities, but in the spiritually or the consciously bad association means the association of those who really do not have what we were reading before, but Shraddha, faith. If we've really got faith in Gurudev and Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, then we will certainly stay in that channel. And that channel has been given to us by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So here we are in a as you say, atyanta dulabha, very rarely attained opportunity, and we must be careful not to throw that away. Because as Guru Maharaj says, and we hear not just one talk or another talk, but so many times, we cannot say for sure where will we be posted in our next birth if we don't get ourselves focused and in a straight line now. Krishna fulfills the desires of the devotees. Be careful what we desire for. This way. And we began today mentioning about how some devotees, well, always have difficulties, but this week also trying to give some relief to some devotees, not with physical difficulty, but with actually the heart difficulty, something like that. But it does come down again and again to just having proper faith in our gurus and not going anywhere else and doing what they say. When they say don't associate outside of the family, outside the channel, don't go into the association of people with other thoughts and ideas, especially wrong things which we know that, okay, this isn't the teaching of Gurudev, this is not the teaching of Guru Maharaj. And to go into the association of those who criticize others, those who gossip about others. All of this is so much stressed by Gurudev, by Guru Maharaj, by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Do not discuss the character of others. It's not in our department to do so. And in that big, there is one very large coffee table book, they call it, with Srila, I think the title is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, something, a large coffee table book about the life of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And in there, fairly early on, as far as I remember, then there he is stressing that not to discuss about the character of others. In many places, this is always coming up. But when we get into the association of those who are gossiping, and gossip comes to criticizing, gossip coming to commenting about others' behavior, then it is very destructive. And the difficulty is, in this age, we've got not just that we need to avoid the physical association, but as in good association, we can have good association without being in the physical presence of somebody. We can have bad association without being in the physical presence of someone. So not to venture when we meet somebody online or start to see something on Facebook or whatever it is, if you go to those places, except for like specific places to go to. But if you start wandering through what the devotees discuss, then you're going to be also exposed to bad association, but not necessarily in the physical sense. But just as good association doesn't need physical presence, bad association does not need physical presence. And we should be restricted in our life. We shouldn't hear just anything and everything. We shouldn't see just anything and everything. We need to, and that goes for all of our senses. We shouldn't just taste anything and everything. So, our life is meant for some restriction, but restriction, a mother and father, they give restriction to their child so they don't get, electric shock by putting their finger in that little hole in the wall. You put your finger in that little hole in the wall, mommy and daddy telling me, no, don't do that. If you do it, what happens? You get blasted across the, well, in America, you won't get blasted across the room because you only have 120 volts. But in Europe, you get a good whack of 240 volts. And the little child, then yes, well, I told you not to do that. So we are the children, and we get a good 240 volt whack, sometimes spiritually speaking, when we put our finger in the hole in the wall, do things which we're not meant to do. So it comes back down to, we are being taught how to think and how to behave, and we should do that. And this will be our actual service connection. We will do the things that our gurus wish us to do. So, as we said at the beginning, there are devotees who are in difficulty. We think, we come to Krishna consciousness and then everything should be straightforward. But generally the difficulties come when devotees don't have any regular program of neglecting their chanting, not having any kind of like sadhana in the sense of how Gurudev and Guru Maharaj expect. We wake up in the morning, bathe, do something devotional before we start the day and end the day with something devotional. And of course, the gold standard was given in the mat. But to neglect chanting, neglect getting nourishment from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj in the way they expect us to each day, then if we neglect the nourishment and the process, if we neglect the medicine, then how can we expect that we're going to get better? And we are not Raganuga bhaktas, Rupanuga bhaktas in the sense of, we are not at that stage where we can neglect the regulative principles and neglect our direct duties given by our masters. And so often, it's so sad when we see good devotees and who are so promising, then going through difficulties, and difficulties because they're doing the wrong thing. Not getting the nourishment is one thing, but not only not getting the nourishment, but doing things which are harmful, and that harmful doing the harmful things in particular can come to this bad association. not, as we said, not necessarily physically, but by allowing ourselves to hear upper Siddhanta and hear criticism of others. We want to run away from these things. And I don't remember Paramanand was with us. Oh, well, Shipad Dandi Maharaj is with us. You're both very knowledgeable. Was it, I think it was Raghunath Das Goswami, who wouldn't allow anyone to criticize. He wouldn't allow any criticism of anyone, even if it was valid. Something like that it was said. Yes, they're doing all those wrong things. He doesn't want to hear it. And this age, the other thing is, in this age, there is fault everywhere anyway. So we do not want to hear criticism of anyone, by anyone. It is very harmful. And as Sripad Dandi Maharaj told us now, how Gurudev, he heard some upper Siddhanta from an apparently a devotee of Mahaprabhu, and how injured, I don't know what the word Gurudev used was, but as Sripad Dandi Maharaj just now was recollecting, it felt like Gurudev was feeling like how injured he was, felt by hearing this, you can say, we can hear Gurudev's words, nonsense description of Mahaprabhu's appearance from this, so-called sadhu. So we can similarly be very much, maybe not injured, but disturbed at heart by bad association, by those who are not doing what our gurus want that they do, but in particular about criticizing others and saying wrong things and reading books which will tell you about other ways that Mahaprabhu appeared, this, that, and the other. And as we've mentioned before, I've met the authors of some books which are out there in the spiritual domain, and really, with just a few moments, not hardly extending into minutes, maybe, okay, very few minutes talking with them, they haven't got the basic idea that Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, from the very beginning, from the outset, they're giving. And they're writing books, but then comes out as a book, and then people read the book, and they're thinking, oh, it's a book. Then, yes, this person is very wise. He's saying this new conception. Hare Krishna. But this is all about staying safe. So we stay safe when we are doing the right thing. So Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamritam, Mahaprabhu Shikshastakam, Gurudev's books, and his videos now, that whole series with the captions at the bottom, because I know, we know devotees heavily misunderstand the audio and the videos very often. So the captions are helpful. I understand that. And the captions, anyway, the captions are helpful. So Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj, there are so many videos with subtitles. And I don't know the exact channel to go to for Srila Prabhupada's ones, because we do watch Srila Prabhupada, and with some of them with the captions. But if anybody has like a recommended channel, I'll be happy to know, like, where in one place you can get like a good series of Srila Prabhupada's talks, and with captions, because it's helpful, because we are watching with the devotees. We're watching with the public. We try to choose something so that when the public come today, Saturday and Sunday, this is the time when we have the public visiting. And so we'd like to introduce our masters and show them in the program that we do. And we've got devotees here from Salt Lake City and from Japan. Jamuna, oh no, from China. Jamuna from China, from Salt Lake City. And her husband, Glenn, she's here. They came yesterday to keep our festival going. devotees going, devotees coming, and RamSundar Pandita came, so she's come, and she's going to be here for the week. So we're having always devotees coming, devotees going, and going, not going, but physically going, but staying connected. As you all are, you are all here. We're all here, not physically, we're here in the Zoom temple room, just see. Here's me chatting away. Oh, Paramanandu came back. You went somewhere. Paramanandu is a busy man, a busy devotee. While he's with us, let's catch him for a few wise, happy words. Another thing is, I have to say, how much we're reading and understanding and feeling what Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada are giving. It is about love and affection, sweetness and beauty. We should try to always keep in this. It's not about dogma and doing this and doing that. All those things which are doing this and doing that, therefore waking up our love and affection, and how affectionate and hearty was Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, and we know Srila Prabhupada as well. We know, we know that he also was so much hearty and affectionate and so tolerant for giving mercy to the fallen souls. This is us, well, it's me. Paramanandu will give us some happy sharing this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever we may be.
Well, I was not sure about the happy part. I got just a few minutes. We're here at the auction house, just taking a little break and happily listening. But many good points were made. And I think Sripad Tyagi Maharaj and you also touched on that. Srila Govinda Maharaj was telling how they're...
Dandi Maharaj.
Dandi Maharaj, yes. What did I say?
Tyagi.
Oh, Tyagi, oh. Excuse me. I was actually thinking of him, but never mind. What Gurudev was explaining, there may sometimes they count 4 types of general relationship with the Guru. 3 of them not so good, 1 is good. He was saying about Guru Sevi, Guru Bhogi, Guru Tyagi. And there's another one, but not so positive. But well, Guru Sevi is very clear. We're all trying to go in that direction as much as possible. But there's one type that is also very dangerous, and that's what Dandi Maharaj was actually pointing at a little bit. And we have to be very careful in any case not to commit the aparad. We have to tread very carefully with all these things, but have to be aware of it. Not to consume something that is contaminated. Like Saraswati Thakur's words, a muddled conceptions are not for us. Something that is not pure. And that we have to be aware of. So the Guru Bhogi, Gurudev was explaining, may look like someone who is devoted to his Guru, but his mood and his, what's the words? Intentions are not pure. He's trying to exploit his Guru for his own benefits. And he may represent some things that have nothing to do with the teachings of his Guru. So presenting so-called muddled conception, but using the Guru as a screen behind. I'm his disciple, and look what he said about this and that and that. But the conception that is coming out, that current, is already been deviated. But they're still using it to gain some prestige, some personal benefits by using that fact that they are the disciples, they are the followers, and also mixing some of their ideals with their own misconceived ideals and presenting it to the public. So we do have to be aware, but that comes to, again, to be familiar and be able to discern what is true and what is not true, what is pure and what is not pure, at least to some extent. And we have to get acquainted with Guru Maharaj, with Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, Govinda, the whole Guru Varga, but in a pure current, pure presentation. And if we're not, then we will easily be cheated. And that's also our responsibility. And then Bimal Krishna Prabhu was saying how there are two most important practices, which is the chanting of the holy name and serving the devotees. And there was a discussion to which comes first. And actually, it was pointed out that serving the devotees always comes first. It's even more important than serving the holy name. And when I have this life experience when one friend of mine who was a sincere seeker, he was looking for a guru, already kind of affiliated with the Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So he went to ISKCON society. And somehow it's nothing to do with the whole society, but the particular person who was in charge in Calcutta. His behavior was not so great in the sense that he was chanting his rounds and the person came very tired after a whole night train and thirsty and hungry and just asking for a shelter. And that Prabhu said, no, wait till I finish my rounds, then we will talk about it. So he was quite upset. So he called me from there and I was in Thailand. And I said, well, don't have to judge this person. He's got his own understanding of Krishna consciousness, but I can recommend you to go to Dum Dum Park, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, and see if you will observe any differences there. And he came, and he was received so well and so sweetly by the devotees, literally dropped everything they were doing and accommodated his needs. And so he became a disciple of Srila Govinda Maharaj afterwards. So we are not to say, oh, Prabhu, you have to wait till I finish my rounds, then I can provide you whatever you need, or any service that is coming to us. And we might be chanting in that moment. That has to be left. And we must attend to that service. After all, we're chanting and praying, oh, please, Lord, let me serve you. Please, you somehow engage me. Please notice me. And then Lord is noticing, engaging you, and saying, oh, excuse me, but I have to finish my rounds. Then later on, we will talk about it. So the seva comes first. That also good to remember. Whatever we do, if something is coming to us, we must drop everything we're doing and attend to that seva. Of course, with proper understanding and proper vision of what it is. It's nothing is black and white in Krishna consciousness. Anyhow, Maharaj, I do need to run. They're calling. There's another section of auction starting soon. And I'm very happy to be here because it's very boring. And yes, a lot of
I'm
useless
sorry
things.
you have to still in this world have to
It's all right, Maharaj. I'm not suffering. A little bit, maybe.
You're remembering Guru and Gauranga. Okay, Prabhu, have a successful day.
Maharaj.
I will let you get back to this other department of Seva, because remember what Paramananda is doing, all of this is coming for service, to give facility in the service of the Vaishnavas. Using capacity in service. Okay, I'll put you on mute because we don't want to hear all the bargaining going on in the background. Dandavat Prabhu. Oh, it doesn't let me put you on mute. Oh, no. Hare Krishna. All right. Anyway, you see, everyone has some different duty in the world. I wonder how long I would survive in an environment like that. As Srila Guru Maharaj says, Srila Guru Maharaj says, Srila Gurudev says, they both say this example. If I'm a businessman and I have 5 rupees, I do my business with 5 rupees. I don't wait until I've got 1,000 rupees. And then with my 5 rupees, then I reinvest, and that be reinvestment, then it grows and grows. But they use this as the example of for spiritual life. Whatever we've got in our little account, we will invest that only in service, and then whatever comes through that service is invested only in service. So everything, actually, Bimal was saying before that by doing service, it felt like that I'm getting more opportunities. Something finer has come into me in service. So this way, in the material world, there are the businessmen who are investing their energy and their time in their business, means the equivalent of the service of the spiritual world. And this is the example for us, that we need to be like the businessman and be very careful about what energy comes to us, and to use that energy properly, not to squander it, but to put it into the saver again. But about the material world, I think I probably lose my 5 rupees in an auction and have nothing to invest afterwards. So let us not be like that in the spiritual world, at least. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. And the devotees who joined us along the way, very happy to have you with us. And Priyanana Devi Dasi with the flower, very happily having you with us today. Also, Priyanana Devi, you joined us. She's always busy in service. Jai Jai Dandvat. And Prema Sindhu Prabhu, our heart goes out for the recent passing away of your son-in-law. And this another reminder of this world. The world we live in is insecure. We think that the ground under our feet is secure, but even that is not secure. One day I was sitting right here, well, about 2.5 meters away, and I'm sitting at the desk as we are now. And I felt absolutely, unmistakably under my feet, deep in the earth, no doubt, but I felt the rumbling and crashing together of big rocks. And I was getting ready for an earthquake, like the moving, because we've been in earthquakes before. And then you never know when the land, the earth we stand on, is moving, then we think actually nothing is solid in this world. And especially if we read Srila Prabhupada's purports, where he's saying, this world now is becoming out of balance because of drilling away all the minerals and the oil, millions and millions of tons being distributed, that was balancing the earth, and now it's going out of balance. So the earth itself can again fall into the Garbhadakshay ocean. And then who's going to pray for the boar incarnation to Varaha Dev to come and rescue the earth again from the bottom of the Garbhadakshay ocean? But even the ground that we're on, if anyone's been in an earthquake, it makes you realize even the ground I'm on is not secure. It can open up and swallow us at any moment. Yes, Bimal Krishna Prabhu, you have a hand.
Sorry, Maharaj, just nothing important. I just thought, since we were getting to the end, you reminded me of, I have this book you were speaking of, actually, and I just wanted to, for anyone who's interested in seeing what you were talking about. Plus, I mean, we all can see the form of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so anyway, I don't mean to interrupt your flow. I just thought it was really sweet. You reminded me that I had this book, so I went and found it and grabbed it. Anyway, that's all.
Beautiful, beautiful, Prabhu. There are treasures inside that book.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Dandavat.
Dandavat. Hare Krishna. All right, so dear devotees, for this time, then we need to all continue in our different seva activities and duties. It's the weekend for all of us, either Saturday or Sunday. So let us all see whether we can people reach a little bit. We're people reaching here, and we have a program arranged by Indubala. Some of you know Indubala Devi Dasi. So we have a public program happening today. We've got the kiosk open, we've got devotee guests, and we've got regular guests. So we've got a happy atmosphere where we can reach people. After all, that's what we're meant to do. We're meant to worship the Lord, chant his holy names, and tell others about Krishna. Mahaprabhu's direct guidance, and all of these things please Guru and Gauranga. And as we said before, a little bit we do know Srila Gurudev, and we know that if we try in these ways with honest heart to introduce people to their greatest fortune, where they can find their greatest fortune, then this is pleasing to them. And what is pleasing to our gurus, that we want to do. All right, dear devotees, Jai Srila Gurudev, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Om Vishnupad, Srila Bhakti Rock of Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Om Vishnupad, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. And Jai Om Vishnupad, Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai. Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. All the worldwide devotees ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev ki Jai. And all the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda ki Jai. Jai Shri Dandi Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Paramananda Prabhu ki Jai. All the assembled Gurudev's English devotees ki Jai. Prema Sindhu Prabhu ki Jai. Our senior devotee section ki Jai. And all devotees, young and old ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
With best wishes to you all, and do copy out from the chat box a link if anybody wishes to see it. I'm going to see that link too to Srila Prabhupada's videos and see. And for Guru Maharaj's videos, Srila Sridhar Maharaj video series on YouTube. And for Srila Gurudev's videos, Srila Govinda Maharaj video series. Those exact names that will bring up the videos which have got the captions done by Chinmoy Dev Prabhu here. And as we learned very recently, you can make the captions bigger in the settings on YouTube. So if you're sitting with many people, you can make the captions large so they can see easily. So that was a little trick that I was taught by the grace of the devotees recently. And here's Seva Rupa, she's putting these two Srila Govinda Maharaj video series on YouTube. 279 videos? No. Quite a lot of them. And almost 40, oh no, 279 is another thing. I don't know what 279 is. But there are many YouTube videos with captions, both of Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Guru Maharaj, and we just got the link, the Vanipedia videos in English series of Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Dandavad dear devotees, all best wishes, we'll meet again soon. Hare Krishna.